What it do? What it do? Happy Tuesday, y'all. Happy New Year. Happy
Happy
2025.
New Year.
Happy late Christmas. Merry late New Year. Whatever you celebrate. We are back. This is our first episode of 2025 and we are definitely excited. We got a whole month worth of topics going. So we are ready
Yeah.
to enroll and talk and talk and talk and talk. So keep the suggestions coming, obviously.
So let me ask you, Nikki, first. How did it feel being off for a couple weeks, not not talking?
Okay, is it me or are you echoey, like Mike Funny-ish? Maybe it's me.
It could be me. You don't hear me directly in there. I might have to check. My
I
stuff
hear
been
you.
acting real weird.
I can hear you audibly, but it sounds like you're talking through like one of those little kid stethoscope microphone things to make your voice.
Okay, hold on, hold on.
Kevin, I know you're listening. Kevin, shout out. Will you let me know if I'm tripping or do you hear
No,
cues?
I think you probably.
Second. And
Okay, there we go.
you hear any difference now? Is it better
Sounds
now?
perfect. It's just low.
Okay. All right. All right. Well, I'll bring it up a little bit. I don't know. Maybe my baby was messing with something.
Yeah, you now you sound perfectly fine. It's just very low.
Okay. So let me. Okay. Can you? How about now? A little better.
I mean,
Still
it's
low.
low still for me, but
Yeah, it's kind of low. It is
okay.
kind of
You
low.
know, I should be
get
tripping.
loud
So
sometime. I don't be want to get too loud because especially once I get excited.
It's loud.
they can turn us
How
down.
about now?
Shoot.
Right.
No, I will not be much. Okay. How about now? Because I sound loud to myself now. I got to turn myself down.
You're not
It
loud.
might be that your volume is just loud and you need to
Yeah.
turn your volume
Because you're not loud. You're almost not loud enough.
I don't know what's up with that. That's dang. Yeah.
Yeah, even Kevin said you need to come up a little bit.
All right. I'm trying to. I'm bring it up high as I can. I don't know.
Oh no, that's good.
on.
Yeah.
Okay, that's better.
Perfect.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, there we go. Yeah.
All right. So I was saying, Nikki, how did it feel not being on here talking that talk for 2 weeks?
You know, I felt weird only because I was like, this is my talking space, right? But there was so much going on in those last 2 weeks too that having missed 2 Tuesdays, I was like, it was just weird. It was weird. I missed y'all. I missed the conversations. I miss having our in person because it was New Year's Eve. So I really missed having that. But I'm looking forward to 2025. I'm happy that we're back. I'm happy it's the first Tuesday of the new year. So it feels good to see. How about you? How did you take these 2 weeks off?
It was a little weird. I kept coming up with different ideas. I had, but I did my Thursday show. I did one of the shows, so I wasn't out for a whole 2 weeks. I wasn't doing like 3 a week, but I did. I probably did like 1 a week sometime in there.
Well, yeah, and you still had high IQ going too, so you stayed plugged in.
But
a little bit.
we wasn't really do. I did Monday. I did yesterday. I did high IQ, but the last couple weeks, we just put on pre-recorded. People don't know.
Oh, is that? I saw y'all go on last week. Okay.
That's pre-recorded. That was a show that we did earlier that year.
Got you.
Oh, which I had some very good. It was obsolete. That's what one of the topics, and it was talking about things that would be obsolete in the near future. I'm gonna share one quick thing with you, which I think is a ridiculous prediction, and we're gonna get into predictions in the next couple of weeks too.
Yeah.
But one of the things I was saying, and I love doing these bold predictions, I think southern states will become obsolete in the near future.
You think southern states will become obsolete?
Yes.
So do we wait until we have
that
that conversation, or what do you presume that they are going to turn into?
I think the weather is going to get so hot that it's going to be unbearable, and then there's going to be a migration away from the equator, and people is going to start moving up to northern states because skin cancer and literally is going to get so hot. I just noticed the last 2 or 3 years in Texas, it's been unnormally hot. I've been here for 20 some years, and the last couple summers, it's been like, I'm used to Texas by now, and I'm like, this is kind of crazy. So with all this global warming going on, I think it's going to get unbearable to the point where people are going to start moving back to Detroit and Minnesota and these northern states to get away from the heat.
No, I'm never going that far north ever
Okay.
again.
Let it be 135 degrees for a couple of months.
Basically, if it's 135 here, it ain't gonna be 6 months of winter up there like it had been. So if it's gonna be climate
No,
change,
the winter's starting to go away now up there.
Huh?
The winter's already starting to go away. They complaining like it don't even snow as much as it used to up there.
Now, my mom has said though that it's been a longer winter though, right? So even though like the winters haven't been as maybe frigid and cold and snowy on the ground for weeks and weeks and weeks on end, this shit's lasting forever. Like that's one of the reasons why her and my aunt and all them are coming back down to Texas, because she said it's just too fucking much. It's too cold. She said even though it's you can stay in for a couple weeks, but months after months of just cold frigid weather, they hate it. They hate it. But you talking about our heat, and I agree with you, right? I think not this past summer, but summer of 23, in my opinion, was probably one of the toughest summers I've ever experienced down here. We literally had, I think, like 90 days of triple-digit weather and almost consecutive. But this last summer, even though we had high temperatures, it was the weirdest heat to me. It was hot, but it wasn't like last year's triple digits day after day after day. It was a very different heat this year, in my opinion. It was hot, don't get me wrong, but for somebody like me who's outside all the time, this was not a hot ass summer like it had.
Same here.
However, this winter is unseasonably warm. Like we just got winter yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
It's been 80 degrees all December. So
Yeah,
that would be a good conversation to tap into.
Yeah,
like
same thing that happened last year.
Say that again.
It's the same thing that happened last year. This type of weather current. In the winter, it was like mild to medium warmth in December, and then it kind of hit January and February as far as the cold temp, like the temperature drop.
Mm-hmm.
If y'all remember that, outside of the the cold front that hit Texas that almost knocked out the entire grid about 2-3 years ago.
We have a freeze up through March still, so it's nowhere near over for us yet.
Yeah, we'll see. Okay, I just jumped in front of everything. I'm sorry, Nikki. Go ahead.
Predictions. I like that idea.
Go ahead, Nikki.
No, but so those of y'all who are listening, think about some predictions. What are some predictions that you have for the upcoming future? Save them, and then we'll talk about it in a couple weeks. It'll be one of our topics that we get into. Always curious to see how many predictions Q makes actually come true.
They're gonna come. I'm telling you.
Yeah, we gotta
Houston-Damas.
revisit the predictions episode.
Houston-Damas. Get out of here.
We do.
I do like that new setup Q on the chess app, man. The new game that you challenged me on.
Oh yeah, that's it's different. It's different.
How's everything's a little tight now? Yeah.
It's different.
That's a little challenge. I like that. How y'all doing though?
Sorry.
How's everybody doing?
Well, I'm sorry. I completely cut Nikki off while she was doing the intro. Nikki, you can get the intro started.
So, but to do it, y'all know where to find us at. We're over on the YouTube channel, Free Thinkers Worldwide.
Share, like, come on, jump on, don't say something to it. Let's go.
The Facebook page, share, like, share, share. And that's pretty much it. We're glad that you guys are here with us tonight. If this is your first time, what's up? Hello. Say hello in the comment section. You can chat live with us over on our YouTube channel, which is Free Thinkers Worldwide. Over there, the comments will show up. And of course, we will try to put everything that we get to on the screen. If you want to join the panel live, you go over to our Facebook group page. It's Free Thinkers over there. And pinned at the top, it's got the link where you can click on the StreamYard link. It'll bring you right into our live stream. Just have something, in your ears and no background noise, and, come tap in. If you got to come a little late, that's cool. That's all right. Just, follow the conversation and jump in whenever you're ready. But absolutely do join us. Let 2025 be your year to bring your face onto this camera and come talk with the family. But at the very least, holler at our friends over there in the comment section, and let's have some conversation over there too. But we got a great conversation for tonight, and I think it's perfect for starting off the new year. So I love this. So I'll pass the torch back over to you.
Oh, and I'm passing the torch back. I'm passing the torch to Denise. So Denise, who actually put this reel up here? Because you thought about this, Denise, and I was like, what's the first question I want to ask you? Like, so what we're going to be talking about, guys, is recently Mark Zuckerberg has discussed that changes that they're going to make to his social media platforms, which is Facebook, Instagram, and Threads, and some of the initial reasons why they put things into place, and some of the things that they're looking to change based off of new information that they've received, or I guess the response from people. Go ahead, Nikki.
Are we going to play the video by chance?
I didn't even think about we can listen to it. I was thinking about that. I have to, because they only allow us to do like minute segments on StreamYard, so I have to break it up into like it's a 5-minute video, so I'd have to break it up.
Okay.
I feel like we could do that because we could like hit each point.
True.
And unpack each point and then revisit.
It takes a second to load this, so I gotta
we
chop
can talk through it. We professionally now.
Or I mean, I could do the easy thing. I could do. I don't know whether you see. I could just put it on there so you can hear. Yeah, you can just hear what's being said like I did last. That'll probably be quicker.
Yeah, audio will be a good way because it's all about the audio anyway. Maybe that we want to see the visual, but the audio is just
you don't need to see that pasty face.
It just says suffice. Yeah, it will suffice.
I don't know. I feel
no big deal.
Rappers.
You know, he said got the little chain on.
Hairstyle and everything.
New hair, got a chain, got a gold chain.
Yeah.
He got look like he got a Rick Owens t-shirt on. I'm like, who you been hanging with? Mark? Baby, what's going on? We talking about Mark Zuckerberg. His whole little style didn't change. He's trying to get a little swag with it. It's still a little lackluster, but he's trying.
I just got to watching the movie that was made about him, The Social Network. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I just got to watching that.
We actually went to
I actually like it though.
No, that wasn't that we went to. We went to go see the one with Julian Assange.
Oh yeah.
Remember, we went to the theater to watch. Actually, Free Thinkers, it was a group of us who all went together to go watch that.
What was that called? I don't remember that one, but I remember.
Yeah. So yeah, we Free Thinkers, we go to the movies together and everything once in a while.
We doing things. We do stuff.
Yeah. Okay, so here, let me before we start breaking this down, what was your initial thoughts, Denise, to when you heard this information? Like, oh yeah, we've been putting Nikki in Facebook jail all this time, but now we're gonna change up a little bit of stuff. We kind of took it too far, so we
I was like, Nikki's not going to be in Facebook jail anymore. Is that what this means? Because Nikki's about to go rogue. If that's what this means.
I've been on a roll too. God dang it.
Yeah, you have been on the roll too. They ain't changed the permissions yet. You better chill out.
No.
Well, that was the second. That was the second thing I thought. Honestly, it was the second thing I thought. But the first thing I thought was, what's the play? What is the play? That's what my second thought was. Or my first thought. And then it was like, dang, Nikki not going to be on Facebook. I was like, Black Tea Time?
Right? No shit.
Okay. So let's start off. Shut up. Let's break this down.
So for those who just tuned in, we are about to listen to Mark Zuckerberg give his State of the Union address for social media this year.
Literally.
Yeah, I'm going to be stopping and pausing in between there.
Okay.
All right, let's go. Let me know if y'all can't hear this or not.
That's something important today, because it's time to get back to our roots around free expression on Facebook and Instagram. I started building social media to give people a voice. I gave a speech at Georgetown 5 years ago about the importance of protecting free expression, and I still believe this today. But a lot has happened over the last several years. There's been widespread debate about potential harms from online content. Governments and legacy media have pushed to censor more and more. A lot of this is clearly political, but there's also a lot of legitimately bad stuff out.
Okay.
Oh yes, please stop.
I was like, I
So when he
don't know,
said governments are trying to
Already?
censor more,
Come on, man.
I'm looking for my fucking notebook and a pen so I can make notes of what I want to hit. Can't find it.
I got notes already.
I'm like, where's my notebook?
Okay.
Okay,
so-
let me ask y'all first, because first thing I'm thinking, does anybody else feel like the soon to be president has a hand up his ass right now?
Has his hand? Oh, let me go get my pen. I can chat.
I feel that I feel like the thrust of this is coming from
The thrust.
President Trump wanting to, because you remember when President Trump got banned from Twitter and banned from all the social media sites because of a lot of the stuff he was saying, and now it really makes me feel like they're all trying to get on his good side early before he gets in, because you don't want to be on his bad side, especially when he's in a position of power. What do you think, Denise? Like, just when you initially start hearing that, what do you think?
I don't think they're trying to get on his good side so much as I think that they are acting like they have similar interests, right? I think that this is mutually beneficial for both of them. Because remember, under the Biden administration, they were trying to publicly burn him at the stake. Remember when they went through all those questions and he went to go, who was he sitting in front of? The Supreme Court? I don't know, the group that he sat in front of. Y'all know what I'm talking about?
You talking about
Y'all
Trump?
remember that? Y'all don't remember that?
You talking about Trump, right?
No, Zuckerberg. Remember?
Oh, he probably had a congressional hearing or something like that. I kind of remember that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so remember how they were attacking him and being like, oh, he's the reason why Trump won. And it was blah, blah, blah with Facebook. And they were all trying to put it all on Facebook. And then they were trying to it seemed like they were kind of trying to take him down. And it was like a campaign against Facebook and a campaign against Mark Zuckerberg too, because then he had to do all this rebranding and make it oh, Facebook's a family thing, to get people back on the platform, because people were acting like they were going to get off Facebook and all this stuff. And I honestly think that this might be his way of shitting on the previous president, which is Biden, and being like, oh, remember when you guys did this? I'm about to take my power back and I'm going to do X, Y, and Z. He's getting in bed with them because it's going to be beneficial for him. That's what I think. I don't think Trump is running it. I think they're in cahoots.
Let me ask you a question. Let me ask you all of y'all a question. Why do y'all think Facebook started squeezing and funneling content so much and why do you think they started being so restrictive in the first place?
Because I personally think when they did that congressional hearing, I think somebody got dirt on somebody. Somebody got dirt on somebody.
Thanks, Denise. You took my answer. Thank you.
Right. And I think they were listen, either you're going to do X, or it's more of a control thing. Either you're going to do X, Y, and Z, or we're going to ban Facebook. They're trying to ban TikTok, or we're trying to ban TikTok. It's either you're going to do these things for us that we're telling you to do, or we're going to do this.
Okay. Yehukanan, you want to add on to that? I know you said.
Yeah, because I was gonna go to that because there was a congressional hearing that Mark Zuckerberg had to attend. And the line of questioning that he was receiving, some of it was ridiculous. And then, others was, pertaining to, I guess, a breach in his security system or something like that. But of course, when somebody gets that type of attention, there's going to be some heavy scrutiny, number one. And then there's going to be some loopholes. Somebody's going to find something to where somebody's violated some type of policy, legal code of conduct, some laws or whatever. So that's when the cap comes in and he has to change the term of policy that is under, that basically runs Facebook in terms of operations and data. So, when the government gets their hand in it, they want to collect data, and that's all what Facebook is data, from pictures to comments to posts, whatever it is, data collection of data. And I've seen a documentary, I think it was years ago, where they had like a warehouse, like a warehouse of exabytes and terabytes, so it's stuff like that. Where if you get on your phone and you look at a certain picture, the computer is going to automatically record that and kind of line up how you operate on your phone. So let's say you watch a movie or whatever on your phone. If you have like a Netflix or Hulu or whatever, you watch something like that. You go to your social media account, all of a sudden, boom, you're gonna see something pop up based on what you saw.
Absolutely.
So 100%. Then that's just the tip of the iceberg. But that's just my thoughts on it, as far as like what Denise just said. She took it right out of right from me in regards to, I think the turn of the tide took a wide turn when that happened.
So let me piggyback off you, and then you jump in, Nikki, and then I jump back into this video. I think you said it perfectly about the tides turning. Now, what I mean by the tides turning, I think that he has realized that the tide of America is starting to turn back, because the pendulum went so far one way. And that's what I even said about a part of the Democrats losing the election, because they went so far with the LGBTQ rights and all these transgender, like they took it further than Americans were willing to go with that. And especially when you start dealing with Americans' children and then starting to strip away rights and strip away freedom of speech. This election it showed the pushback of people saying that we don't like how you guys are doing things. So I think what he's doing now is rolling with the tide of America and how we feel about censorship and controlling speech and I think that's all starting to go back the other way now. I think individually that's a good thing. I think there's some other stuff that's going to come along with that ain't going to be so good.
For sure.
That's just my thought. Nikki, what do you think?
I think a lot about it. When I saw it come out this morning, I was like, you've got to be kidding me, right? So the first thing I thought of when listening to just a couple minutes worth of segment that you shared just now, first thing I heard him say was, 5 years ago, I did a lecture at such and such college, right? I don't remember where he said that. High prestige.
Georgetown, I think.
Okay. First thing I thought of 5 years ago. What happened 5 years ago?
The panty.
Motherfucking pandemic started. The pandemic started 5 years ago. So 5 years ago, he just conveniently, started to have this conversation about, the power of social media, right? Social media, as I'm sitting thinking of, listening to what you guys are saying, and I'm just kind of thinking about the gravity of all of this, the magnitude of this. Think about what it must feel like to be Mark Zuckerberg, right? To be the person that created something like Facebook. Obviously, we kind of started with MySpace and some of the other, places that we had like
MySpace.
Some infancy, right, to social media. But Facebook came in and controlled, dominated everything, right? How information was shared. I mean, hell, people go to Facebook before they go to fucking Google. People go to Facebook before they go to any search browser to get actual information. They go to Facebook first, right? So to be the person who has given birth to something as grand as how the world accesses and shares information has got to be a hell of a feeling, right? So to be the person who sits back, fuck whether or not Trump has his hand up there like a puppet, Mark is controlling the game. He's got the Xbox controller, the motherfucking Switch, the Wii, the PlayStation. He's got got joysticks. He's got all the controllers in his hands right now. And to your point, Denise, you think about how much time I have collectively spent in social media, Facebook jail, and not because I was sharing incorrect information or because I was sharing false things or because I was sharing lies or because I was being a terrorist or a racist or anything else on social media. I was sharing things that
Nikki,
didn't want us to have access to.
they ain't changed the filters yet. Be careful with these words you saying.
I'm just saying, they wanted to be able to control the information, right? It was okay to say that this could happen, but it's okay to say that this can't happen, right? And then when this actually did happen, it's not like they went back and said, "Oh, we made a mistake. My bad. We're going to take all these filters off. We're going to take all these jail times." I thought about today. I'm like, I can't monetize my profile. I have so many fucking violations. My profile cannot be monetized. So in the event I actually wanted to use Instagram or Facebook for monetization, I can't because of all of the things that I have been in trouble for with Facebook as community standards and false information. I can't go
Hey, Nikki, are you a Facebook fugitive or something? What's going on?
I can't go to a Facebook group.
No, she's just a Facebook felon. That's all.
Go to a Facebook group and reply
Dang, girl.
without being given the, "Oh, hey, you have to be nice. Oh, hey, you can't use certain." I'm literally told before I comment in groups that are not free thinkers, "Oh, hey, you better be nice. Oh, hey, you have to share good content."
You actually
Yes.
Well, it looks like you're on their radar. That's what it looks like.
I've been, but ironically,
told you first.
2024, I didn't go to Facebook jail at all. I got very few violations in 2024. It was almost like night and day from 2020 to 2023 versus 2024. I didn't go to jail at all last year for the whole entire duration of 2024. So when I think about, removing the permissions and taking the filters out and, saying that, "Oh, well, we were too strict with our with our fact checkers and they were biased," and so on and so forth, it's bullshit to me. It's fucking bullshit.
That means that they were already leaning in order to favor Trump. They're like, we need to pull back on some of these restrictions so all of the Trump supporters can really
say what they
speak
want,
their mind and be open and free to say what they want without the repercussions.
Well,
they were planning that early.
Saying what I'm saying, it's okay. But if you say things I don't like, then it's not okay. And that's my experience of social media. As long as I say what they say is okay, then you can say whatever you want. How in the world did the alleged terrorist in New Orleans, how in the world did he post content an hour before he apparently drove down Bourbon Street, but nobody knew? I can't even type the word HOE without getting in trouble. I can't type the word ASS. I can't type the word FAT. I can't even type the word BIH in lieu of BITCH. I can't even type those words without my post being flagged. So how did this man have access to viewing and sharing terroristic materials, ISIS materials, leading up to the hour before this happened? It's bullshit. It's all bullshit. And there's something that I shared earlier this week or late last week on social media, and it was in my story, and it just basically said something like, the media's agenda is to push fear. It's their agenda to push fear and to confuse people and to divide people. This, on one hand, sure, it's a good thing, freedom of speech, right? I'm all for it. However, That's not what this is about. That's just what they're gonna label it as, so that it sounds good for everybody else who actually believes it's about freedom of speech. It's controlling the information again.
Let's listen to a little bit more.
That's fine.
I got more questions for you, Nikki, but I'm gonna wait.
Real quick, before you hit play. And then I wanted to kind of tap in on something that Yuhukanon said, about the data collection. We've talked about this many a times. How else are we going to train these AIs? We have to feed them the shit we need to know.
Yep.
Looking a lot like the Matrix. Y'all remember they had them human forms that they were
We got to feed the AI. Don't know shit till we teach it to it. So what greater way to teach the robots of our future what humans do?
All of your
like,
content is
so on
AI
and so forth,
food.
without cranking all that information into them.
AI food is everything that we post on there is AI food.
AI food. I like that word.
Wow.
All right.
And I was gonna say something on AI, but I'm gonna save it. You know, because I don't want that's
Okay.
off the subject, but I'm gonna save it.
I'm with you,
Okay.
Huguenon.
Child exploitation. These are things that we take very seriously, and I want to make sure that we handle responsibly. So we built a lot of complex systems to moderate content. But the problem with complex systems is they make mistakes. Even if they accidentally censor just 1% of posts, that's millions of people. And we've reached a point where it's just too many mistakes and too much censorship. The recent elections also feel like a cultural tipping point towards once again prioritizing speech. So we're going to get back to our...
You reached the point. Do you feel that Facebook was starting to lose viewership or participation?
I can't even, I don't even think I can quantify that because I just know my reach, right? I don't know really outside of my reach to even be able to assume one way or another. I mean, we only
once they said
literally
we reached the point where it was getting too much, it's like, I don't believe as long as you're being productive, they don't think that way. It had to be something that was forcing some type of change.
When you say that, are you talking about as far as people that have active profiles? You know, that the profile's active, that they're on it and engaging.
No, yes,
on the
network.
network.
Activity and engagement within people's profile. Do you feel that maybe people were starting to pull away and go to different?
Yes.
One of the things he did mention, I don't know if he got there yet, but he did mention X, because X, like, I have not been on Twitter for the majority of my life. I recently got on there maybe the beginning of this year, and it's different. Yeah, that's a whole different beast right there. I'll be like, oh, I need to stay off of this. That's unfiltered.
Yeah. Twitter is the competitor to Facebook, which is why, you know, there's competition there. But to your question, I'm going to say yes, because there's friends on my friends list, and I have quite a few of them, and a lot of them have deactivated their accounts, or their profile picture is like, you know, got a little silhouette of a head and whatnot. And there are people that have been expressing their opinions as far as like Facebook is, you know, getting a lot less, you know, entertaining or whatnot. So I don't think the decline is rapid or is vast or, you know, across the globe, because, you know, Facebook is in other countries and whatnot, not just this one.
No, I say even on my. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
But there has been I am starting to see a small percentage of a shift, but it is occurring. I'll say that.
I'll say on my side that even one of the reasons why I really only do podcasts and I can see something interesting like a post and a comment, and oftentimes I want to respond to it, and I'm like, is this worth something that I say being taken out of context, and then I get put in Facebook jail and all this other. Nah, I just leave it alone. So there's a lot of times I don't engage or respond through comment form because I don't know what them little bots are doing, and I don't know what they're gonna I don't know how they're gonna take my statement out of context or something like that. So I will refrain from being active sometimes with it.
Cancel culture. I'm just gonna say that.
Right. Yehugan, me and you were like so much on the same page right now. And I'm like, I'm trying so hard not to like go too far off because I want us to like finish the video before I like go rogue. But I'm with you, Yehugan. I do believe that Facebook lost a lot of users. Remember, there was a platform that Donald Trump went to and Riza Islam went to during the pandemic. What is it?
Patreon.
It was another one that started with the R, I think.
There was Telegraph and Patreon. An R one?
There was like another one. There was another platform. Kevin, I don't know if you know, but there was another platform that a lot
What's
of
the
people
one you talk about all the time, Yehugan?
I think it's Telegram.
You talk about a platform. You said we should be on there sometime. I forgot what it is.
Telegraph, one of those.
But a lot of people went to that platform because people.
Sorry, it's called Clubhouse. It's Clubhouse.
No, not that
That's the
one. It's
platform.
another. It's
Okay.
one more. It's something else. But a lot of people went to that platform because they couldn't. You get canceled for everything because it got
Oh,
to a
like Reddit?
point. No, not Reddit. Not Reddit. It was another one.
Okay.
It was like a new one that specifically like I have to look it up.
I'm
But
looking.
Facebook, they probably bought them out.
Okay.
No, I was answering Q's question. The one that I talk about is Clubhouse,
Right.
social media.
That's what I was
Oh.
asking. Yeah.
And so the
Facebook
long and the
bottom.
short of it is, if you get on Facebook, if Facebook was a place where you could kind of say whatever you wanted to and have long form discussions and debates and all that, and it went from that to Nikki says anything and she's going to Facebook jail. And the only reason why she's able to get her thoughts out is because she literally hits us up and we put it in a group and say, you know what I mean? Like, imagine a person who doesn't have a Free Thinkers group, who's trying to spread information, who gets put in Facebook jail and can no longer share this information anymore. Like, they're going to go somewhere else.
Focus.
So I think it's lost a lot of users for that reason. And then it's lost users to the fact that, like, you want to see a difference in opinion. I don't want to keep seeing the same stuff over and over again.
Right.
Like,
Right.
give me, like, it's like people, like, you ever talk to a person and you can tell that they've just been on the internet because they're like using the exact phrasing, like they've
Regurgitating
been,
talking points,
yeah, and I'm just like,
using the
come
same
on.
verbiage,
The
everything
same
like that.
ver-
in
like
company is
everything. It's like, come on. It's like, I want to hear some difference in opinion. I want to disagree. I want to run into a post that I don't like. You know what I mean? Like, and I feel like we weren't really getting that, or we weren't getting enough variety of that. It was either this side or that side. There was really no in between. It just sucked.
Yeah.
Hey Denise,
Yeah.
let me comment on your what you just said. And here's the thing, in regards to, I'll say, attention, because y'all was talking about, you don't want to see the same thing over and over again. It made me think about this. People gravitate towards drama. So, Nikki is all about, Nikki got her revolutionary hat on. So if Nikki posts something on her social media or whatnot, it's not going to get a lot of attention. It's not, as far as the general public. But if somebody posts something that is trending or trending topic, everybody's going to be on there and everybody's going to be doing their opinion. And then you're going to have cancel culture and hashtags and all of that. But if somebody's trying to put some vital information out there, you're only going to get a small group of people. So, and that right there to me is like, the difference in regards to, having a differences of opinion or seeing a post and disagree with and this, that, and the third. That have happened at a short period of time where people would post something and they will argue on in the comment section, if you will, and it just kind of died out. But I think that's it's the difference right there in regards to something that is trending that gets attention as opposed to something that's informational that doesn't get much. I remember I posted a video on my Facebook page, and this surprised the hell out of me. I think it got like over 12,000 views. It was, and that's the only thing that was on my Facebook to get any kind of attention, because it had something to deal with the information that somebody that was working, I guess, in the medical industry, they was revealing some information. They was basically being a whistleblower in a sense, and I posted it, and then it just got like over 10,000 views just from that, because I took it from my phone and I shared it on my Facebook page, and all of a sudden it just got like a wide range of attention, which would shock the hell out of me though. But to that point, that is the difference in regards to somebody that posts something informational as opposed to something that's trending, and you can kind of see the difference when you get on social media.
So I want to chime in really quickly on just like if we feel so. Let me maybe like add on to my statement about not knowing, right? Because I only go as far as my reach in terms of volume of people on social media. How many of y'all in the last 2 months have noticed that your algorithms are totally jacked up? And all you're getting are sponsored ads and pages you should follow in groups that you might want to join. And it like there was a good stretch in December where I was like, I haven't seen anybody's postings. Like, and so I began to wonder, am I being kicked out of the algorithm as well because my engagement has dropped drastically? Now maybe I've just pissed enough people off that they're like, I don't want to fucking talk to her anymore, and that's fine. I get that. That's what free thinkers is for. But I also feel like people have gone through. Think about in these last 2 presidential elections. You know, I think that there has been so much interpersonal turmoil between Clinton, Trump, Biden, Trump, Biden. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
What's the lady's name?
Kamala.
Kamala. That I think so many issues have been brought to the surface. So many fears have been brought to the surface. So many truths have been brought to the surface that it's really hard to deny anymore the shit that you may have been able to sleep on 5 years ago, right? So going through these different cycles of these different presidential elections and the berating that happens emotionally and verbally on social media, a lot of people, I think, have checked out because they're afraid of what's coming in January. Like one of my girlfriends, she goes, I've deactivated until after the inauguration. She goes, I can't see it anymore. I don't want to see what's being said anymore. But she's also a white woman who has a lot of family members who are absolutely advocates for Trump. And so for her, that's a really tough place to be in because however she deals with her family is different than maybe how I deal with my family, right? I don't have to deal with those people. I have absolutely excluded them from my life. And it's not on the oh, we have political differences. It's we have human differences. We have human principle, ethical differences, right? And we're never going to be able to see. I don't care if we like the same food and we come from the same bloodline. If you tell me, I had a family member tell my daughter once, yeah, I don't get down with all that Black Lives Matter stuff. And I was fucking floored. Said it to my daughter's face, floored. I don't really believe I've engaged with that person since that day. And it's so people are choosing to
You didn't
remove
ask
themselves.
why?
Huh?
Said you didn't ask why?
I didn't need to ask why. I didn't know why. I already knew. It wasn't because the organization funnels money and does crooked shit. It wasn't about the but actual black skinned people. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't about the organization. And you know how I'm funny about anti-black shit. I'm really fucking funny about that, right? And so I think with so many people being heavily emotionally involved in hoping Kamala would have won because we can't let this guy win. And then seeing so many of your friends and family, black, white, brown, yellow, vote for people or not vote for people. People, I think, are all over the place emotionally. And I think that now that like the smoke and the shit has kind of settled a little bit, people are trying to put their bearings back together to figure out, okay, well, just because my black friend voted for Trump doesn't make my black friend a racist. And just because my white friend didn't vote for this woman doesn't mean she likes Trump. Like, there's so much more to why people decided to do what they did or didn't do. But I think that people's emotions got so wrapped into that they've just kind of had enough. I don't think that people are ever really going to cut social media off because it is addicting, just like any other substance. You can't put it back in the bag; it's already been out. But I don't think that people are leaving social media. I don't.
Can I add to what Nikki's saying? Nikki, oh my God, you made such a good point.
Well,
when
what?
Too
you
addicted
said,
to leave. Is that what you're saying? But what I'm saying is they may not leave social media, but they might.
Uh-oh.
wait,
I wouldn't say leave social media necessarily, but go to another platform.
yeah, I think they're going to other platforms. But I was going to say to Nikki's point, Q, you cut out for a second. To Nikki's point, I think, first of all, you're not the only one getting kicked out of the algorithm. We are being kicked out of each other's algorithm.
Mhm.
They're putting us into the algorithm of the pages that they run.
Right.
Those aren't real pages.
Right.
Those are pages that they run, that they guise as some funny meme page or whatever. But it's orchestrated pages to keep you engaged. I
Right.
try my best not to interact with them, but it's gotten to the point where all I can do is X them on Facebook and on Instagram. I think they still give you the ability to snooze all suggestions for 30 days, but on Facebook they don't. So you can X out, and then by the next time you're on there, you're gonna have to go through and consciously X out of all of these pages that aren't like, oh man, people who like cats. It's more like Shaniqua Smith, where you're like, do I know a Shaniqua Smith, or is this like a page? And then you look and you're like, oh, I don't even follow this page. But what I'm saying all that to say is this: they're intentionally putting us out of each other's algorithms unless there's conflict. When there's conflict, they allow us to interact. When there's not conflict, they have us do, they're doing other things. And so I think the intention now of social media is not for you to be social, is not for you to engage with other people. The intention now is to solely and only keep you on the app for their benefit.
Damn. I like how you said that, because at the same time, what I posted about is anybody else's algorithm jacked up? Is anybody else seeing shit that shouldn't be here? A few other people were like, I thought it was just me. And I'm like, of course, we always think that it's just our stuff. And then as soon as you talk about it, it fixes itself. Now I'm seeing posts. In December, I was seeing posts pop up in my timeline from August. I was like, you've got to be kidding me. What is happening? But,
Wow.
know, so again, feeding the AI is the information that they need to have.
Ooh, I have something on that. Okay, can I ask a quick question, Q, before you get started? What if they've been training AI for a very long time, longer than they're willing to tell us about, which of course we know they are.
Huh.
What if the whole point was to create the restrictions so that AI could read restrictions and know what a restricted version of like how humans speak and talk, and then to lift the veil and lift the reins so it can like properly read how people talk and discuss things without restrictions, so that it can really have like a solid understanding of how to train. And I'm saying that because I use ChatGPT all the time, and I specifically use it for work. And whenever I'm writing emails, I'm like not the best with grammar, and sometimes not the best with professionally saying things. And I will ask ChatGPT to, hey, make this more concise and write this in a professional tone. Make this more concise and write this in a warm but professional tone. Like I'll give it specific prompts to convey certain emotions in my writing when I need to write something at work or whatever else I use it for. So yeah,
See, I
I think
refuse
it's
to use
very
ChatGPT.
intelligent. Huh?
I refuse to use ChatGPT.
Yeah.
I mean, I know that obviously I'm pumping a certain amount of information into the AI space planetary universe, right? Like, I get that. I use a cell phone and we use social media and a computer. Like, I get that. But like, I am so anti AI and ChatGPT because it is just feeding all the information that is needed to be gotten. And I saw something be said about that this morning or yesterday. It was just a whole article about how they're trying to push everybody to plug everything into Chat GPT. So Chat GPT becomes our
I'm sorry.
new hub.
I'm sorry. What is Chat GPT? Because I keep hearing about it. I don't necessarily use it like that. What the hell is that?
So ChatGPT is generative, they call it generative AI. So for example, you know how you use Google as a search engine and you can be like, why is my eye itchy and red or something like that? Well, ChatGPT is like a more
Oh, I get you. It's kind of
but
like Alexa on Amazon or something like that.
it's
You ask her a question or something.
sort of, but it's more extreme than that. Like it can write you a full essay. If
Yeah.
you're like, hey, write me an essay on the Mark Zuckerberg video that he posted about the Facebook changes, and it's going to write you a whole essay on that. Then you could tell it, write this from the perspective of a student trying to write a thesis paper for graduation, and it will write in that from that perspective. It basically like it's what's the wording I want to use? It's kind of like a assistant,
I
if
was
you
just
will,
gonna
like
say
an AI assistant.
Yep.
But it's very smart. They've trained
So
it very, very well.
I was looking at actually one of my Facebook friends had posted something about using ChatGPT for creating a budget-friendly grocery list. And I was like, what the fuck? So apparently, like, people are going into ChatGPT and they're saying, okay, I have a budget of X dollars. I'm going to go to HEB, Walmart, Target, Aldi, whatever your grocery of choice is. I have X number of dollars. I'm going to go to HEB, make me a grocery list that will keep me under X dollars with these certain foods. And then you can go one step
That's
further and
good.
say, see some fucking recipes. And so
That's good.
people are loving using the feature because it's doing the work that a human would generally do, right? And of
Yep.
course, it makes it easy, it makes it convenient. But you know, for me, of course, the danger, the flip side to this is there's like Q always talks about the pendulum, right? Like it's so helpful for people right now, but we know once that bad boy
iRobot.
sees the complete other side, we gonna have the Terminators running
But
around.
that's where I take comfort in.
Look,
By
iRobot,
the time it really hit the fan, I'll be dead or close to it. So
and I
don't have
hope
to
so
worry.
too. I hope
Yo,
so.
ChatGPT hit so hard, y'all. I gave ChatGPT a list of all the things I want to get accomplished. And I literally was like, make a schedule for me. My commute both ways is 45 minutes. I want to read, I want to work out, I want to practice singing, I want to do laundry, I want to all throughout the week. And I need some time for rest too. Make me a schedule that allows me to do that. And it broke it down for me. Like, it really does make things, it like saves time. Truly.
You're absolutely immersed in ChatGPT.
Immersed.
Q, I was cleaning a
You
client's
gotta
house.
blame that on your job.
I was cleaning a client's house last week, Q, and my client's kids were home. And one of her sons is like, I don't know, 13, 12 or some shit. And comes in the kitchen and he puts something in the oven. Oven is perfectly fine, has a timer, all that stuff on the oven, right? So he puts his food in the oven, and instead of setting the timer on the oven to go off in like 8 minutes whenever his pizza was done, he okay, Alexa, set the timer for 7 minutes. Okay, Alexa, set the timer for 7 minutes on volume, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, bro, I said, why don't you just use the timer on the oven? He's like, why? And I was like, oh my God. Oh my God.
Why? What's the purpose of it?
You know. Oh my goodness. I'm sorry, Nikki. This may not be the right word, but they're desensitizing us to a point to where we're coming more like guinea pigs, fat, lazy. And your experience is the perfect description of doing something as simple as turning on the timer on the oven, having a machine do it for you. And I think that's what the direction that AI is going. You guys ever seen this animation film? I forgot what it's called. But basically they had this community was ran by machines. It's an animation film. I forgot the name of it though.
WALL-E.
Is it WALL-E?
I don't know. Depending on what you
No, I don't
say.
think
Everybody was
no,
fat.
I-
They lost all their bone density because they didn't.
Yeah, they don't. Yeah, I don't think it's
That's
WALL-E though.
WALL-E,
But
yeah, that's WALL-E.
but everything was
It just got fat, did everything from a fucking chair. They didn't do anything.
yeah, like they didn't do nothing. The computer, the computer basically, the AI basically ran their entire existence until they was able to find something on Earth that could grow. The point is, they have us getting to that point, not per se that we're getting, obese or whatever, just because but it's making us lazy to where we don't want to do anything. It's something as simple as turning on the timer on the oven, for your food to be done. And I think that's where AI is more than likely is taking a lot of people in regards to how things are so convenient for us now to where we just talk to a computer. They could be like, Alexa, go pump my gas for me, and then you get a robot go pump the something like that, and it's just getting more crazy by the second. But yeah, it's just making us lazy as the days go by.
I
where
think
we
there's
gonna
pros
get.
and
Okay, so
cons though, because
let me
I since
hold on, Denise. I'm
what you trying
I
to move
take
on.
complete responsibility for this. We 1 minute into the video,
Okay.
5-minute video.
You
That's
said
why I
this,
like free
this would
thinkers.
take
It
us
don't
the
take
whole
us a
hour. I was
lot.
like,
We
really?
just give us a little bit, and we can
Look,
stretch it.
been
That's
gone
a,
for 2 weeks. We've been gone a whole minute. We got a good 2 hours to go tonight. We got some shit to talk about.
Okay.
all right. So let's see if we get another 30 seconds in. Okay.
Let's milk the
Oh,
cow, man. Let's milk the cow. Come on.
Expression on our platforms. More specifically, here's what we're going to do. First, we're going to get rid of fact checkers and replace them with community notes similar to X, starting in the US. After Trump first got elected in 2016,
See,
the
why you
legacy
mentioning
media
Trump?
wrote nonstop about how misinformation was a threat to democracy. We
Mm.
tried in good faith to address those concerns without becoming the arbiters of truth. But the fact checkers have just been too politically biased and have destroyed more trust than they've created.
He's showing his whole hand right there.
For sure.
He's showing his
That's why
whole
they're in
hand.
cahoots.
Talking about after the election, we realized that they were being too biased, and so my thing is, this is where I lose respect. Don't wait till Trump get elected till you start trying to say you feel this type of way. If you felt that was the case, then you should have did that then. I think it's just you trying to take allegiance sides now that you know where your allegiance needs to go to. I don't know. I can't say I
I just
respect
got
that.
banned. I just tried to type a comment in the goddamn chat and I just got banned.
Just now?
Literally, YouTube rejected your comment. This usually means they think it's spam. Try changing it a little bit. It literally says, so the first one was, let me go off on COVID. This is the first thing I posted, right? Let me go off.
Oh shoot, Nikki.
And the next thing I wrote was, and killer cops. Killer with a K, cops with 3 Ks. I was like, come on. So just that
Why
fucking
you think you, Nikki? I told you that they ain't funneled all that stuff yet.
So it's a lie.
They said they working on it. They ain't say that they changed it yet, Nikki. I told you.
YouTube and Facebook, I mean, YouTube got their own policies. YouTube is apparently really strict. Like when they were talking about the I can't say because we're streaming on YouTube, but they won't let you say like RAPE. Like
yeah,
like, and you know, so they'll restrict a lot of things. So YouTube has a lot of restriction. What I was gonna say
Most of
was
their stuff come from monetization. They like if you
Right.
say a
I
certain
have a
word,
thought. I have a
then
thought on that, but I'm gonna let
they
Denise
taking
get it
your
in.
money.
Go ahead.
You can't get no money off of it.
When you said whenever he was talking and he was like the fact checkers were biased, who were the fact checkers? What was that process? How did you decide who
that's a
the
good
fact
question.
checkers were? And what did the fact checkers check things against? What was their
Right.
you know, what was their thing that they went off of? Like these are
How do you
these-
determine what's a fact in a room full of opinions?
Absolutely.
Especially when you go into the political arena, then most of that stuff is opinion, and there's so how are you deciding what's fact and what's not?
Now
Hold on,
that's-
I went back 20 seconds. Let me listen to it
that's
again.
where your AI comes into play. Those fact checkers are fucking AIs. That's it. With filters that they were
Right,
using.
they have to absolutely AIs because that's
They really-
why you can say something in a comment and then you get banned within 15 seconds because that was
Right.
an AI reading your stuff,
Like
and
looking
not
at
an
that.
actual person.
Hey.
AI didn't peep
Really-
old boy postings and interactions before he went and tried to wreak havoc in New Orleans. You know what I'm saying? So it's like the thing about it, I think
He
that
wasn't on their
is
radar.
the most frustrating, and I won't go into it too much, right? We'll finish the fucking video, but the thing about it, I think that's the most frustrating is that it really kind of caters to the ignorant mind, to be completely honest. And I don't really know a nicer way to say that, right? Like it caters to the person who is not willing to go and do their own research or see if I'm wrong or see if Fauci's wrong or see
Right.
if, you know, just see if somebody's wrong, right? So it caters to the ignorant mentality and then making it seem like, oh, this is some great thing. We're going to give back your freedom of speech. Like it is all, there's all an agenda behind this too.
Hey, Q, before you go into the video, I wanted to get this out real quick. You know how they say one bad apple spoils the bunch?
Mm-hmm.
So, in regards to Facebook or whatever, it starts off good. or YouTube, you know, because they have the restrictions on it and whatnot now. Somebody decided to, you know, somebody found a loophole. I'm gonna say a hacker per se, and was able to get around what they had previously. So now they had to make their restrictions a little bit more sophisticated because their security has been breached by somebody that was able to get through those loopholes, which is probably why you have these restrictions that are starting to mount, because you have these, you know, hackers or whatnot that's getting in there and, you know, putting in, you know, whatever content.
Oh, I see where you're going. Like the
Yeah.
fact checkers were hacked.
Yeah, like fact checkers, or, you know, Nikki just said she just posts something and automatically the computer recognizes it and banned her comment or whatever, her post, you know, stuff like that. Or the RAPE.
That's a good point, Yehuganon, being able to potentially hack their systems, fact checkers, and be able to decide what's considered a fact or not. That's good. That's very interesting as a concept.
And let me just, so I go to the bit video, let me I'll show y'all where my mindset is. Because when he said that, I was like, does one bad apple really spoil a bunch, or is that just something that they've been saying for a long time? But I looked at, I Googled it, and they said, yeah, a bad apple can spoil a bunch. There's, I guess a bad apple releases a gas called ethylene, and it will spoil the rest of it. So yeah, one bad apple actually spoils the bunch. I wasn't sure about that. You know, people be saying stuff. I be like, let me see if this is true or not. Hey, just making up stuff.
There you go, fact checker right there. Proving to be true.
I'm gonna check it.
A real fact checker.
Right.
Let me see.
Here's what we're going to do.
Uh-oh.
First, we're going to get rid of fact checkers and replace them with community notes similar to X, starting in the US. After Trump first got elected in 2016, the legacy media wrote nonstop about how misinformation was a threat to democracy. We tried in good faith to address those concerns without becoming the arbiters of truth. But the fact checkers have just been too politically biased and have destroyed more trust than they've created, especially in the US. So over the next couple of...
Do you agree that fact checkers are politically biased? I don't know. I don't get involved in them. I'm just asking those who like to comment a lot.
For sure.
Well, their AIs are politically biased. Absolutely.
For sure.
AIs are politically biased.
Because we know that the fact checkers aren't people, right? Now, there may be some humans sprinkled in there that tell their AI what they can and can't allow, right? But it's not a human sitting back there with a dictionary and a goddamn encyclopedia.
So basically they're saying we're gonna make our AI go from Democrat to Republican.
Basically, they trained them to be biased. They are training them to be biased for sure.
Yeah.
We need we're gonna make our Republican AIs. Okay. All right.
Once, we're gonna phase in a more comprehensive community notes system. Second, we're going to simplify our content policies and get rid of a bunch of restrictions on topics like immigration and gender that are just out of touch with mainstream discourse.
Think that's a good idea? Simplifying content policies, getting rid of immigration, getting rid of certain... Because, I mean, honestly, there's certain things that you just can't even talk about. If you talk about it, then you pretty much putting yourself in Facebook jail. So y'all think that's a good idea too?
Well, I think it's interesting that they want to change the idea of talking about immigration now, just because when they're speaking of immigration now, it's a totally different viewpoint than the immigration was in 2020 when kids were getting separated from their families and we didn't know where the kids were going and we didn't know what was happening with these children.
Different
and all of
conversations
that versus now where people are being set, you know, put up in hotels and given $1,000 vouchers and being put on food stamps. See, that's a different conversation. So now you're willing to have the conversation when it's like, less of an issue versus when it's like, where the kids at?
That part. And that's literally the example that I was going to use before you went there. They weren't worried about them fucking kids. They weren't worried about any of that stuff. Now all of a sudden we're worried about immigration and women and woo-de-woo-de-woo. Man, come on, stop. Like, stop. Like, stop. This is crazy to me. Like, listening to him and watching it, I was like, you gotta be kidding. There's gonna be people who believe this to be true. You think, oh, this is just so good for us, and it's going to be so much better.
Right. Well, I mean, okay, so on the surface level, this is, I mean, we digging in and trying to see what the agenda behind the statements are. But the statements itself on the surface level, I'm pretty sure, Nikki, you think that's better than the latter, correct?
I don't think it's any better because it's still going to be weighted. It's still going to be whoever decides they like or don't like.
That's true.
We
It's
don't.
just going to be a different form of control.
I do, and I do. It's going to start to sway people. And unfortunately, I'm going to go back to the ignorant mind. That's not mean I'm calling you stupid. That's the person that doesn't fucking research for themselves, right? It's going to take the ignorant mind and pull you wherever they want you to go based on however they shape the information.
And then it gives you an excuse for the information big shift. Because you can say, well, the shift in people's mindset is because now we've lifted restriction. So this is what people have already been thinking, but they've been unable to say it. But no, all you're doing is just shifting the mindset via the social engineering that you're doing.
Yep. Yep. Straight social engineering.
All right, y'all. So we made it 2 minutes in.
We're doing good.
What started as a movement to be more inclusive has increasingly been used to shut down opinions and shut out people with different ideas, and it's gone too far. So I want to make sure that people can share their beliefs and experiences on our platforms.
Looking at Denise's face is hilarious when she was.
Third, we're changing how we enforce our policies to reduce the mistakes that account for the vast majority of censorship on our platforms. We used to have filters that scanned for any policy violation. Now, we're going to focus those filters on tackling illegal and high severity violations. And for lower severity violations, we're going to rely on someone reporting an issue before we take action.
That's all good for you, Nikki. That's right. That's called the Nikki rule.
That's right.
But why? But as I'm listening to him,
the Nick Rocks rule.
Why is the information wrong now? Why were the fact checkers wrong now? Why now? Like, why? How do you know?
Yeah, that's true.
How do you, what made you decide that they were wrong? They were too strict. They were too stringent. Like, it's so convenient.
Very.
Whew. Yeah, I got a lot of questions. All right, hope.
The problem is that the filters make mistakes, and they take down a lot of content that they shouldn't. So by dialing them back, we're going to dramatically reduce the amount of censorship on our platforms. We're also going to tune our content filters to require much higher confidence before taking down content. The reality is that this is a trade-off. It means we're going to catch less bad stuff, but we'll also reduce the number of innocent people's posts and accounts that we accidentally take down. Fourth,
is this more of political agenda, or is this capitalism? We're trying to compete with X because we see X gaining steam and momentum and we need to cut it off.
All right, so this is what comes to mind in regards to that when he was talking. So you guys are familiar with the fiscal year, right?
Mm-hmm.
The term, the word, okay.
Yes.
So there's each quarter, a company has to meet a certain quota, right?
Mm-hmm.
If the quota is not met, what do?
Cut.
They find ways to meet the quota. Yeah, cuts is one of them, whatever the case may be. And you also have ratings if you're like in film or television, et cetera, et cetera. So the biggest competitor in the social media platforms and Facebook is Twitter. So if the competitor is doing better in a certain area, then they got to find a way to either match it or beat it. Now, if you notice, he said in the beginning of his speech, he said that they're following a similar prototype to X. So X was already doing this. So now they're jumping on board and doing this. We don't know what's going on behind the scenes, but if we can read between the lines and see that either Facebook is falling down in the ratings as far as social media, whatever, they haven't met in that quarter. So Mark Zuckerberg is trying to turn the tide a little bit to where they are generating the traffic that they once had before, when Facebook was was the SHIT,
Mhm.
and the expression was Facebook me, which is not anymore. It could be something else. So that's my thoughts on that.
I got
You
it.
know, oh, go ahead, Nikki.
Well, really quickly, what if he's in trouble? What if this is him just doing fucking damage control? What if he's covering his ass right now? Like, what if this is just a pretty way to put frosting on a shit cake? You know what I'm saying? Like, what if
It's possible.
he's in trouble? And this is his way of somehow trying to relinquish responsibility, accountability, benign neglect.
Interesting.
I mean, goddamn, we could go on and on. This is just not something that you just decide to have an aha moment after 5 years of strict restrictions about what gets said on your form. You know, I don't know. This is not. This just started, so I'll be real curious to see how this unrolls
Something come out.
as the year goes on. Sorry, go ahead, Denise. Uh-oh.
You
Denise?
froze, Denise? Uh-oh.
She is.
Denise might-
Yeah, I think she froze. There she go.
There she
Okay,
goes.
I'm back. You
Sorry.
know what this made me?
You were saying
you know
something.
this-
Sorry.
You know what this made me think about? Q. I forgot. It's a phrase that you used to use, but you would hate when we would do this. If before we were about to make a statement, we like preface the statement with "I'm not racist" or "I'm not sexist." What is that phrase that you use? I forgot. But you'd be like, "Don't come on here with that. This is free thinkers. Just say what you need to say." Right?
Right.
And
It's probably
I'm saying all
prefacing, yeah.
that to, huh?
Say what you need to
Say probably prefacing,
say.
yeah.
Say what you need to say.
Don't be
And so-
politically correct.
So what I think that he's doing with this is he's like kind of coming in like, "Hey, just so you know, I'm not this way, and you're probably gonna see some bad stuff now, but you know what I mean?" He's like setting you up for the bullshit.
Yeah.
Like, let me just tell you in advance what's about to happen. So when
Yeah.
you start seeing bullshit, I already told you. Oh, well, I made
so
these changes.
because Denise, the truth of the matter is, you didn't have to publicly state anything.
Right.
You could have just made all
Yeah.
of the changes
Yeah.
without actually
Yeah.
making this statement.
Yep, just come out of nowhere with it. Yep.
And then you'd be like, "Hey, you know what? I know this is difference," and but that you didn't have to come out with a public. So when there's a public announcement like that, there's definitely agenda or thrust behind what and why they're doing it. So
Yep.
Mark also did say in the beginning of his soundbite that he was trying to get Facebook to where I'm just paraphrasing, but he said something along the lines that he's trying to get Facebook to back to where it was before, where it was all about people expressing themselves freely with the content that they were. I don't know if y'all caught that, but
yeah,
he did
Back
he
to
did
the
mention
roots.
that. So yeah, he's going back to how and why he started Facebook in the first place. So in some ways he's keeping a little bit of restrictions on there, but he's not making it as tight. He's loosening the
get all of
screws a
these
little
ads
bit.
and promotions out my dang timeline. How about that? Shoot.
He did that before, but the only reason why he's probably not going to do that is because they're paying him.
Mm-hmm.
And another thing I noticed too with the wording that they're using, and this is something, legacy media versus new media.
That
Like,
part.
Like they are making a very distinct difference.
Right.
And they're throwing legacy media under the bus because it's all legacy media's
That
fault.
old ancient. They might as well call it ancient media.
Mhm.
One of
On
the
its
new
way out media.
That's one of the new
Yesterday's
code
media.
words. It's a new
Right.
code word. Legacy
Yeah.
media? What the fuck is legacy media? Like, if you didn't know, you'd be like, is this a new broadcast company? This is just the new thing that they're saying.
Mhm. Like
What?
ABC, NBC, CNN, like all this. That's legacy media, and they're
Yes.
always trying to make them look as bad as they possibly can and make them seem as untrustworthy as they possibly can, and they are, by the way. But so is social media.
Yep.
And I think what I think the move is is to really hone in on the fact that social media is the new media and it's the new trusted source for media. I think that's what this is really about. Because
Right.
if you can control the media, you have the control.
Oh yeah.
Which is why, again, I think
Very much
Biden
so.
was trying to hold his feet to the fire. That administration tried to hold his feet to the fire because they were under the belief that Facebook is the reason why Trump won the first time. They had that whole social media documentary on Netflix about it, but really,
Oh, really?
they were acting like it was just a social media documentary. But the whole purpose of that doc, in my personal opinion, was to push the idea that Facebook was the one that was responsible for what happened with Trump winning. So they make you think it's about one thing, but really the real idea they're trying to push is buried into all these other ideas. And now that Trump is back in, you see that he's making all these changes again. Because when the other administration was in, he had to follow their rules. And now that they're gone, he can go back to doing what he was doing before.
Mm-hmm.
All right, interesting point. Very interesting point.
Mm-hmm.
Very
By the way,
interesting
you just
point.
made my point for me the few weeks ago when I told Nikki that's why we can't all come together as a people. We don't own
Hey,
any media outlet, so it can't happen.
Hey, Q, I got something for you real quick before we go on to the next segment of the soundbite.
Yes.
Look at my screen.
Scoot it over some. The Lost Book of
The Lost.
King Baxum. OG?
The Lost Book,
Never heard of
the
it.
Lost Book of King Og,
Oh,
the giant that is the giant that is mentioned in
For black
Numbers.
people,
Or,
we're gonna be like OG.
yeah,
The
King
book
Og.
of Lamech of Cain.
You said
Those are
the Lost
books.
Book.
Yeah, I just wanted to show you that real quick. That I got it.
And Lamech.
Yeah.
The
Of
book
Cain.
of Lamech of Cain.
Yeah, you remember Lamech that had the two wives in the in Genesis? Oh, you got to read that. But anyway, yeah, I just wanted to show you that one of these has been approved by the Vatican to be published.
Interesting.
So it lets you know what's. I ain't going to do it. Go ahead to the next one. I
Commercial
just want
break,
to show
right?
you.
You and I trying to go to a quick little commercial break.
Yeah. Just a little ad, you know.
Okay.
Well,
All right.
oh yeah, go ahead,
go ahead.
because we'll do
We
we'll
3
do this all
minutes
night.
in. Let's go. This is all my fault, by the way.
Content.
I'm trying
For
to
a
find
while,
things.
the community asked to see less politics because it was making people stressed. So we stopped recommending these posts. But it feels like we're in a new era now. And
You hear that recommending these posts? That's already a sign of
What
control.
post?
We stopped the post that people were putting up. Like that's that shadow where
Shadow
we will
ban.
funnel the information that we want to go to your friends' threads. And we start limiting that because we felt that that's something that people did. Man,
Stressing
They
people out.
made a little boo boo. That's all. They
here
trying to
between
correct
the
it.
lines,
It was
they basically
stressing
saying
people
we
out.
pick and choose whatever you decide to post. We pick and choose who and how many people get to see it.
Dang.
Just
Let me keep going.
Just admit that.
They saying you got to read between the lines. They saying all of it.
we're starting
Man,
to
they made
feel
it-
back
they
that
made a
people
little
want
boo-boo.
to see this content again. So we're going to start phasing this back into Facebook, Instagram, and Threads while working to keep the communities friendly and positive. Fifth, we're going to move our trust and safety and content moderation teams out of California, and our US-based content review is going to be based in Texas. As we work to promote free expression, I think that will help.
So we're gonna get this. We're gonna get this out of the blue state, and move it over to a red state.
Texas with that shit.
Oh damn.
Hold on. Get this. Okay. So when
Tired of
you
these
were
liberals
being
over here. We're
all
gonna go to a red
extra
state.
liberal and woke, you went to the most liberal woke state you could be in, Cali. And now that you're about to shift the tides to some whole other shit, you're going to be in Texas.
What?
And
Oh my god. Okay, now it's being more clear to me. Because
Uh-oh.
again, let me-
That woke you up. Go ahead.
why say this? I think that when we talk about where they losing viewership or participation, based off of what he's saying, they were losing participation from
Liberals.
no, not liberals, Republicans. Because the Republicans felt like they were being censored and that their opinions were being suppressed. That's what other reason out of all the things you said we're going to move from California to Texas. The only that statement only caters to Republicans. Like, hey, we actually gonna move over to your neighborhood. You're literally telling us without telling us we're starting to change and do policies that fit your agenda and not the Democrats' agenda.
More so because the liberals and the Democrats ain't making no moves. They're not making no moves.
No,
they're so
they're not.
woke. They're so woke that there's so much division within the liberals. Y'all just went so far left that y'all then turned, I don't know where, y'all just went to outer space with the shit. So now you ain't got no motion because y'all ain't on
the ocean.
Because you ain't got no numbers, because your numbers are scattered, because y'all got these very extreme ideas living within this one sector. So now you're so liberal that you're just not even unified.
You're literally speaking in code right now.
Y'all remember that thing? Y'all remember that thing I mentioned about the fiscal year? Y'all just proved it right there. Numbers is dropped.
So
when
Texas,
he said to say that we're moving from California to Texas, that's cold. That's literal. He's speaking in code right there.
Yes. You're moving from being liberal to being Republican. Now get this. I saw something else on Mark Zuckerberg's page where he's doing something with Dana White. You know, Dana White has ties with Trump. Dana White also has ties with Joe Rogan.
Yeah.
Joe Rogan, you know, like that's why I'm like, oh, they're in cahoots.
Yep.
This is a group. They are working together. This ain't nobody controlling the other. It's like, okay, so how we about to hit this lick real quick?
Yep.
Like,
hey,
they
Denise,
will all benefit from this. And I won't be surprised if they try to move the majority of Silicon Valley out of Cali and start moving it to Texas. All that land you have in Texas and cheaper land that you have in Texas. You see what they're doing in Hutto, what they've been doing in Austin. It only makes sense. You're going to truly turn it into the Silicon Valley of the South. That's what's about to happen.
Yep.
hey Denise, you know what you made me think of when you were saying that? Dang, I just forgot it. Just went over my head. Never mind. Moving on.
It's a lot of money about to start moving around. And Texas ain't got no state tax.
Yep.
But they do got property tax, and I hear it be sneaking up on people.
I bet you ain't
Sneak up
nothing.
on me. It's smacking me in the face.
Yeah, but it ain't doing what Cali doing with the taxes.
Oh yeah, it ain't nowhere.
Cali got
Oh, my God,
Cali
it
got
ain't
the
nowhere
state
close.
tax, and they lead the nation in that. Last time I checked, I don't know if they still there,
So
but they
why
reigning
not
supreme
move
for
your
sure.
why not move your whole shit over to Texas?
Mm-hmm.
All right, we got a minute and a half left. Let's go.
Okay.
Yeah, I forgot my thoughts. Go ahead.
To do this work in places where there is less concern about the bias of our teams. Finally, we're going to work with President Trump to push back on governments around the world that are going after American
He literally just said it, and then he talked. Oh man, they don't get no
less
clearer than
concern
that.
about the bias of our teams. Finally, we're going to work with President Trump to push back on governments around the world that are going after American companies and pushing to censor more. The U.S. has the strongest constitutional protections for free expression in the world. Europe has an ever-increasing number of laws institutionalizing censorship and making it difficult to build anything innovative there. Latin American countries have secret courts that can order companies to quietly take things down. China has censored our apps from even working in the country.
Sound like he giving us propaganda right now, but go ahead.
Oh yeah, Denise, I got the thought. You know, oh sorry.
Go ahead, you Huguenot.
I was going to say, because you was talking about how Mark Zuckerberg got these ties, or hooking up with somebody to have all of these ties.
Mm-hmm.
And it made me think of this. That could be a potential topic, maybe not. What do billionaires talk about in their conversation when they're not around the common folk? Because it's a lot different. Their conversations are vastly different. And we can kind of get an idea of that as far as the type of conversations that they have by the content that they put out. So you made me think of that as far as like, what do billionaires talk about? Because I know what they talk about is definitely something that is a little bit more private as opposed to being public.
Control, money, the end.
in
The end.
a nutshell. You funny for that one.
How
Oh
we go
my
about
goodness.
it is the details that we won't know, but that's it.
Right.
But well, yeah, but it doesn't stop us from speculating though,
Yeah.
based on the information we have.
Q, 1000% propaganda. 1000% supports the idea that
here.
he is.
Whenever you sum up a whole nation in one sentence, you trying to force feed us quick information to give us a negative perception about other
exactly.
countries.
He's like, oh, the Latin American countries that are trying to control how Americans
in the year of
view.
America. Yeah, and they just one sentence.
Who?
That's who they are.
What Latin American countries are trying to control how we view our government? Go sit
Now
down.
that's a good question. That's a good
Go
question.
sit down.
Who or what?
Or
Gotta ask them.
The point is, don't trust
China.
none of them. Just only trust me and President Trump. That's all you need to
Right.
trust. Don't even trust. And this one, they was like, don't even trust the Europeans either. Don't even trust our other white people. Only trust us.
Right. And then they're like, or China, who's trying to control. Oh,
Right.
you mean TikTok? So
Yeah,
China
absolutely.
God bless America
Mhm.
and no
Because-
place else.
because this is what I think. This is what I think the play is. This is what I think the play is. Mark Zuckerberg, the robot that is Mark Zuckerberg, he's iRobot. I think he's iRobot.
he's an AI.
He's AI. He is the AI. Okay. He controls Facebook. He controls WhatsApp, which is encrypted messaging. He controls Instagram. He controls Thread, which is the biggest competition to X. If you can and TikTok, which they're trying to kind of get TikTok out of here.
Right.
If you get
yeah.
TikTok out of here, your only other competitor for you to not really have a monopoly on social media will be X. If you can
Keyword you use.
if you can end up getting X out of here, you have a monopoly on social media. And if you have a monopoly on social media, you have a monopoly on how information gets out to people, aka you have a monopoly on media. That is his goal. That is his end goal.
Oh,
Denise,
And once
Denise,
he does
Denise.
that,
I want to go a little deeper. Let me
Denise,
go a little deeper.
Denise, let's engage real quick. I'm sorry, Q. Go ahead, man. Because
Real
Denise
quick,
got
I'm just
Denise
saying.
got me my cylinders clicking.
This
Who I
gonna be
wanna
super
get.
quick. And this I don't know, this ain't gonna be an actual prediction yet, but this far-fetched and this is possible.
All right.
Since we already know that Elon Musk is in cahoots with Trump as well, just like Zuckerberg.
Mm.
You like why would they try to squeeze out X when Elon Musk is down with Trump too? Elon Musk has no problem selling X and moving on to other things and doing like, if you think he's not committed to anything like that. So they could all be in cahoots together, and when the time comes, he'll just sell X, and then they'll all work with one media stream together, and he'll just keep focusing on Tesla and going to space and other stuff like that.
I don't think so. He's not going to sell X. You know why? Because they will censor the fuck out of him if X is sold. He only keeps X so he can say what the fuck he needs to say. Literally.
But they're already starting to do that. They're telling you that we're about to do this with Facebook. We're about to
But
take
at
the
least if you
censors
have
off
X,
of Facebook.
At least
All
if
I'm
you
telling
have,
you, as a bit, I don't know all the intricacies, but what I'm telling you is, if Donald Trump is connected with Zuckerberg and he's connected with Elon Musk, he's not going to have both people on East. They are going to be in cahoots in some type of way. And when the time comes, they're going to make sure that it all works together for all of their good. That's what I do know at the end.
Denise, I got a question for you. Because you was clicking on all cylinders. What, as a competitor, what is the primary thing for a competitor to do to its rival?
make
In a
him look
sense.
bad. Gotta get him out of here.
Well, that's one of them. But think about this one.
Kmart, Sears, all of them.
Hold on. Well, you said that, But are they still in existence?
No, Walmart squeezed them the hell out.
Okay, so as a competitor, the primary job is to eliminate the competition.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you guys just
Eliminate
mentioned
or
about them getting rid of.
absorb.
Yeah, you mentioned about them getting rid of TikTok, which is kind of like, has gained momentum. But it made me think about Vince McMahon in the WWE.
Oh, by the way, that was the best documentary I saw.
Oh,
all of
yes, it was.
2024. That
Really?
was
I
outstanding.
wouldn't say that, but it was pretty good. I
What
wouldn't
was the
say
better
that, but it was pretty
documentary
good.
What was the better
But
documentary that you saw last year?
but the point is, they had a competition, which was WCW.
Mm-hmm.
So the WCW was trying to take the ratings
Mm-hmm.
from
Right.
WWE.
Mm-hmm.
So what WWE did, they found a way to eliminate the competition to where they bought out WCW.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So the concept here in the social media arena, in regards to, now we don't know what's going on behind closed doors, but we can kind of, put two and two together in a sense. In regards to Facebook and X, formerly known as Twitter, or what they call Facebook now, Meta, but that's like,
Even
that's
that's
neither
a
here nor
rebrand.
yeah, that's neither here nor there. But you guys get the point. The point is
Right.
Right.
is to eliminate your competitor to where you are the reign supreme. And we just heard it in Mark Zuckerberg's speech as far as mentioning those Latin countries and whatnot. Like, don't go to them. Come over here to me. I'm the dude. So it just made me think about the as far as like what they're trying to do. And you guys mentioned something about if the owner of X sell his company or whatnot. If he does that, he lose all type of power and credibility, and he can't really do much or nothing or
Yes,
anything at all
he
for that
still
matter.
owns Tesla and about a half dozen other, multi-billion-dollar companies. That ain't
Well, if that be the case, then sell X. Then so
I'm
I don't know.
saying he might. Now you got to keep in mind, Facebook is
If he got Tesla.
Zuckerberg's baby. Facebook
Yeah,
is
it is.
Zuckerberg's baby. Twitter is not Elon Musk's baby. He acquired that. He bought that, and just like he bought it, he will have no problem selling it. I'm telling you, that
I
ain't
don't
something
think
that he
so,
started
Q.
from scratch.
To that point, Q, you may have a point as far as the other business ventures that he has, which is generating billions for him. You mentioned Tesla, which has like recharging stations all over the goddamn city. And what was the other one that you
And
mentioned?
not only that, Elon Musk, he's focused on his whole bot army right now. He's creating androids, like literal people androids, right? He's focused on a whole lot of other stuff just than X.
Well, I
And
would say
he's
you may
getting
have
ready
a
to do-
you may have
he's
a
gonna
point.
make he will probably make an army for Trump. He's in the process of making an army for. Oh my goodness! Look. Oh, all right. There go prediction.
Owning X
He's-
allows him the ability to say and funnel however he wants to.
So y'all
Ah.
watch when the time comes and it's time for Trump to leave out of office because his term up. No, we've decided that we're going to stay, and he got a whole Android army that's backing him up, and ain't nobody gonna be able to do nothing about it.
Yeah, an Android army for
Oh
what?
my God.
To keep
Okay.
him in office
do-
and
to
to
do
do
what?
whatever they want to do, y'all.
No,
ain't
you know what I
y'all's
think?
asking for. I'm telling you now. I don't get far-fetched
Alright.
often, but when I do, I'm telling you.
Okay.
Get out
Alright.
there.
This is what I think.
But he's actually creating an army right now. Y'all do know that, right?
No, I don't.
Yep.
So that's what you need to pay attention to. He's literally creating an army right
He's
now.
creating a robot army to do what though? Go to war?
Whatever
To do
you
whatever
can,
he
Whatever.
wants to do.
whatever.
Oh,
This is what I
okay.
think. This is what I think.
You'll see. We'll give it about 6. Just look.
I'm not
gave
saying
you
I don't
Google-
believe you. I'm just like,
just
what is the
Google for
agenda
about
behind
15
creating
minutes,
these
and
robots?
You're gonna be like, oh,
You know what I'm
damn.
saying? But he's like, for anything that he wants. That's okay.
Spin the wheel and pick an
Why do
agenda.
people have armies? Why do
He-
dictators and leaders have armies?
He just
To
said
enforce
last,
whatever policy they
To
want.
prepare for war.
he just said last week in an interview that by 2030, I think he said 2030
Mhm,
or 2040,
mhm.
one of the two,
Right.
there will be
Right.
more AI robots in our homes than there are humans.
Mm,
It's iRobot all
mm.
over again.
Well,
Damn,
there's your
it's
war
not
right
good.
there.
Yep.
So,
Oh, that's what I'm saying.
Invading people's homes, or
so this is what I
making us
think.
be more lazy.
I think that
Oh, it's getting cold again.
as long as Trump is in office, they're going to work with him. I don't think that Elon is ever going to sell Twitter because he needs to be able to communicate whatever he needs to be able to communicate however he needs to communicate it, and efficiently, effectively. And the best way to do that is Twitter. I can almost guarantee you he loses so much money with Twitter that he could have sold it a long time ago because it's not worth him holding on to it monetarily, beyond the fact that he can use it to get the messaging that he wants to get out there. And as long as he owns Twitter, because it is a media platform that you can share information on, he has power. He has
Yep.
a
But
certain
Denise,
kind of power. He has a certain kind of power.
Denise,
And let me tell you, hold on,
I,
I'll
I,
let you finish. As soon as Trump gets out of there, you're going to see what's what, because you're going to see whatever happens between Mark Zuckerberg and Elon Musk. Those are the two to watch. Trump,
Right.
you got 4 years, baby boy, and then you're out of there, sweetheart.
and he's already
The
80
ones to
years
watch are
old.
those
His
two and
his
Joe
time is
Rogan.
limited.
If he even
But
makes
not just
Denise,
that.
if he
I have a
You
question,
also
Denise.
know. Well, let me ask a question to Denise first.
Mm-hmm.
If he
Hey, Denise look like she's
if
ready
he
for the question.
decided to start up another company called Tiger instead of Twitter or X, how long do you think it would take for him to gain the same attraction and activity on his page when he's a damn near trillionaire and he has the infrastructure to build that platform? Like, he's not stuck on a specific platform when he could make the same platform possibly better than what it is right now if he so chose to. He's not stuck
true.
on just the
Not true.
name and the.
Not true.
Okay.
Think about it. What incentive do people have to go from using Twitter to Tiger? Twitter is a long-standing thing that people are just already used to.
I'm just saying he's not married to that platform itself. That's all I'm saying.
I think so. Why would you spend why would
I
you
disagree.
lose a ton more money to build another infrastructure with more employees, and you have to get more engineers and more servers? It takes too much time. Why do that? Why?
I know what you're saying. I'm just saying if
It doesn't serve
Denise,
any purpose.
we don't know what the focus of his agenda is right now. I know
Who,
media
Denise,
is a
Elon?
part of it because media is important. Go ahead, you
Denise,
now.
Denise, I have a question for you. Wasn't what's his name? Elon Musk?
Mm-hmm.
Is that a name? Was he in
Yeah.
the headlines for something recently?
He's always in the headlines.
But it was something that was like regarding X or Twitter that he said something and he got censored or something like that. That recently happened. I think it was huge though. Like, was he in?
Last year he was in the headlines because a bunch of employees were leaving.
I think that's it. I think that's it. The employee thing.
He also mentioned something about, I can't remember the exact quote, but it was kind of dangerous what he said. It could have been misconstrued, but he was just saying something about he almost didn't believe they were really trying to kill Trump, because why didn't they try to assassinate Kamala? It was something, he was saying wild shit, but because he owns Twitter, who's going to stop him from saying this?
Who's gonna check?
Right. We're gonna check it.
one.
We want good time.
No
Not just
one.
that.
You can't
The
get
people-
canceled if you own a media platform.
The people going on strike and boycotting because they know they about to be out of there in the next year and a half anyway, because they making all these bots that's gonna take over their jobs.
Yep.
They know this.
Mm-mm.
Literally, and you're willing to strike when you know you ain't got nothing to lose. They about to get rid of us anyway. Let me see if I can get what I can get right now.
Yeah. I think there's a deeper, darker criminal link, and I think if anything, Elon is winning in the power game long term. He don't have as much pull right now, but if you have self-driving cars and you have a robot army and you have access to satellites and can go into outer space, you gotta, and you know, then remember, we haven't been talking about this as much, but cryptocurrency. So if cryptocurrency ends up becoming a real thing, when they when and if they decide to shut down global currency, I guess I don't know if that's the phrase you should use, but the US dollar and whatever else, and things really go to crypto and only certain people have crypto, like it's gonna get crazy. They build an underground bunkers and stuff like that, like all this crazy wild shit. Like, they don't want you to hear what other countries are talking about and telling you.
The dots is connected.
Ooh.
And this was just, this to me was just so, this is like, it almost feels contradictory to what our experience with Facebook has been. You know, the initial fact checking.
Your experience with
Leave me alone.
In play though, to try to be a safe place, right, for people to share information and gather. And it's become a cesspool, and it's gonna be an even larger cesspool. You know, and
oh yeah,
it is just getting started. Like, I don't know, I can't wait until the end of this year, and we're coming back and doing a 2025 recap, and we talk about this shit in 6 to 12 months to see what has happened in this year, to see how accurate our predictions were or were not, because this just has bullshit, man, written all over it.
You know, Nikki.
Oh, let's say, hold on just a second, Yehuganan. Let me get we got 45 seconds. Let's see if we can get through this. This is all my fault, by the way.
Well, let's play the whole 45 second then.
I can't promise that. Let me see.
All right, man. 30 seconds.
Quietly take things down. China has censored our apps from even working in the country. The only way that we can push back on this global trend is with the support of the U.S. government.
The only way.
And that's why it's been so difficult over the past 4 years, when even the U.S. government has pushed for censorship. By going after...
What you want to say, Denise?
Taking shots at the Biden administration.
Yes, the past 4 years.
Yes.
That's a direct shot.
The only way we'll be able to do this is with the help of the U.S. government, Trump.
It's been so hard for the last 4 years.
For the past 4 years, Biden.
China.
Dang, she caught that so fast.
Yeah, the past 4 years. Those are, oh my God, this is so much propaganda laced conversation.
Let me comment on what Nikki said in regard to the 2025 recap. I'm more so looking to see what turn of events is going to occur this year. Because there's always some type of turn of event that has occurred. Most noticeably, I'll say something that's more recent, the incident that occurred in Louisiana with the truck driver. And I spoke to my sister, and she said something happened in New York as well. About the I think it was something happened at the Trump Tower or Trump property, and something that happened in Vegas. Somebody used one of those RoboCop trucks. Yeah, you guys know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, the Tesla blow up in front of Trump building.
Those cyber trucks. Every time I see it, I think of RoboCop because it reminds me of the vehicle in RoboCop. But anyway, that recently just happened at the start of this quote unquote 2025. So I'm just anxious to see what else is going to occur that's going to captivate the people's attention, as far as like turning whatever shift or tide that's going to happen or going to occur, because something is going to happen. We just got to be ready for it, as far as making it through that whatever that is, and recapping 2025 like we did 2024, and so forth and so on.
We need Jesus. All right, 45 seconds. Let me jump back.
Let me see
it has emboldened other governments to go even further. But now we have the opportunity to restore free expression and I am excited to take it. It'll take time to get this right, and these are complex systems. They're never going to be perfect. There's also a lot of illegal stuff that we still need to work very hard to remove. But the bottom line is that after years of having our content moderation work focus primarily on removing content, it is time to focus on reducing mistakes, simplifying our systems, and getting back to our roots about giving people a voice. I'm looking forward to this next chapter. Stay good out there, and more to come soon.
We shall see.
Said the Wild Wild West is back in effect.
We shall see.
If you notice,
We
he
shall see.
never says free speech. He says free expression.
Mm.
He never says free speech. He only says free expression. At the top of the conversation, he said free expression, and at the end, he said free expression. And I think it's very interesting that that's the choice of words.
Right.
Mm.
Well, that's how you frame things to not have culpability later when the shit comes back and he's in front of a fucking congressional
Again.
Hearing. Mhm.
Absolutely.
In another 4 years.
If we make it.
So then
Oh,
it's
good
like,
point,
Q,
Nikki.
where you at? Where you at?
Good point, Nikki. If we make it. Good point, Nikki.
it's for, oh, you don't think we're gonna make it through 2025?
I don't think it ain't. I don't think we're. I don't necessarily think that it's over in 2025. Nor do I think it'll be over in the next 4 years. But I don't think Trump's gonna last 4. I don't.
I
Dang.
think he gonna last for. Oh,
That's
that's
a bold statement.
prediction.
That's
I
a
think
bold statement.
I think
And then
he'll.
what does
That's
the world
a
look
bo-
like with him?
You think he gonna get impeached or something like that?
He ain't getting impeached.
I don't know what's gonna happen, but I think that whatever it is, it's gonna be some shit that we were not either one prepared for emotionally. I don't know. It's just it's only the 7th day of the year, and there's so much happening already. Like
Already.
for some people, this whole release from Mark, no big deal. Oh, it's no biggie. It's no biggie, right? But here we are, free thinkers, absolutely fixated on breaking down this man's conversation because we know this is bullshit.
I'm glad y'all able to read between the lines too. I really appreciate y'all. Like we
Come
catching
on
all the
now.
little stuff.
Come on
Catch
now.
the
We
little stuff.
unplugged from the Matrix, man.
Turn
I
the TV
debate
off.
that.
Turn the TV off. Hey, turn the TV off.
Turn
Turn
the-
the TV off.
I think there's
You know,
levels of
funny-
unplugging. I don't think anybody's completely unplugged, but I think there's levels to it.
Yeah, we ain't gonna go there. But anyway, I will point out to Nikki's she mentioned something as far as like not being active on Facebook and the algorithm, changing of the algorithm. I will say as far as myself is concerned, like I haven't been active as much on Facebook as I have had in the past. Simply because it's just like it's not on that level of importance or on the agenda. Well, I will say this. Mainly what has taken most of my activity in regards to social media is Clubhouse, because I get to interact and talk to people kind of like for those that can relate, like back in the day they used to have this little thing where you get on the phone and you get in a room and you talk to a whole different people on the phone in a room. But now it's transitioned over to the social media factor where you're able to talk to a person on the platform and you have like hundreds or so people in there. So I mainly shifted to that. Sometimes I'll jump back on Facebook and see what's going on, what's popping off or whatever. And all I see is just ads and, this, that, and the third. I'll see a few people's posts or whatnot, or I'll see somebody that posted something 3 days ago, or, kind of like what Nikki said, August, but I really wasn't paying attention to it. But I will say that recently, like, I haven't been consistently on Facebook as far as interacting as much as I have in the past.
Yeah. Because when you can't
People don't
interact with
realize I'm
people
never
you
really
know,
on
it's like
Facebook.
annoying. Or you can't interact in real time.
Right.
Mm-hmm. With Clubhouse, I can actually do that as far as like talking to somebody. It's instead of reading words, because a lot of the times when you read words, whether if it be a text or a comment, you don't understand the emotion behind it. So you can kind of like misinterpret or get the misconception of what somebody's actually saying, not knowing the intent of the emotion behind what they put on there. But with the Clubhouse, you actually can hear it, and you can jar back and forth with that person. I mean, it's structured in some cases, but more so as far as like on Facebook, it has taken a back seat as far as me interacting on that on a daily and consistent basis.
Okay, so let me ask this before we get out of here. Again, on the surface level, without digging deep into the intention behind it, do you think it's a good thing that Facebook is making these changes?
To be honest with you, I really don't care. For all I
Um,
know, Facebook can be non-existent. I'm still going to be able to self-sustain myself in regards to being sociable or being social. So I really don't care about the changes, to be perfectly honest with you.
for the sake of entertainment, and like what I view as entertainment, like being able to analyze things and have these conversations, and like being able to reflect on what 2024 is like versus what we're going to see 2025 become. I think that it's a great thing because I think it's going to be a great case study, and I want to see what happens. Whether it's like good for people or not, I don't know. I mean,
And see, that's what I was gonna say. One of the things, just get out of your own personal bubble for a second. And if we, especially as free thinkers, have seen the groupthink mentality and the way people's thought process have been funneled over the years, whether you care or not, or maybe it's not even your cup of tea, maybe for society as a whole and the way that you'll interact with people may be different. I don't know for maybe the better or worse, but since there's less restrictions that's been taken off, now people may be freer to express themselves. Because you gotta, whether you care about it or not, you have to acknowledge that this is a primary source of media, if not the biggest source of media in America, period. So there will be effects one way or another.
Free.
You said
as far as communication or being sociable,
not, I mean,
or interacting or connecting with people.
Communication, information, news. Facebook is it is one of the largest, if not the largest platform that disseminates all of that information where you can interact with it. So it's going to be
I'm not denying that.
Even if you don't use it personally, it's going to be ripple effects in the way that you interact with the people around you based upon how they interact with it.
For sure. I am interested to see now that we're going into like reverse cancel culture, because I think what they're trying to do is undo cancel culture with this whole thing, right? So I am interested to see now, like when people had so many limitations on what they could say, what they could do, and all this other stuff, people were very restricted. They weren't speaking their mind. They weren't being truthful about what they were thinking inside their heads. I am interested to see that now with no repercussion of cancellation. I want to know what people want to say for real. And now that people, it's like the girl who never got to go anywhere, and then she finally goes to college and she gets hot. You know what I mean? And as she's having sex with everybody because her mama wouldn't let her go nowhere. Like I feel like we're about to go into this very extreme version of expression, or whatever he was calling it, free expression. And people are just about to start going rogue and saying wild shit because, like you said, Q, the pendulum swings so far over. And now
let me say something on the opposite end that could be a positive, though, because like you said, the freedom of expression was also an illusion, and you had a lot of people who felt free to do and say certain things without any consequence because they knew cancel culture was their ally. So you can do this, say this, wear this, but you better not say nothing back to me because cancel culture will get you. Now, if people are freely open to respond the way that they want to, that might change the behaviors of some of the people who hid behind the cloak of cancel culture itself.
Interesting.
Might change behaviors all the way around now.
Yeah. True. Nikki.
What I'm curious to see is, like, and the word transparency is definitely a little bit gray, right? Because the word transparency isn't gray, but people's perception of transparency is very, you know,
Oh
it's
my
their
goodness.
own perspective, right? So, like, I can say transparency is posting a medical journal that outlines the common denominators of children vaccinated with certain vaccines, right? I can share that information, but the fact checkers, of course, are going to put a disclaimer on my post, or prior to this, right? They put a disclaimer on my post. But then the problem becomes the ignorant people. And again, I'm referring to ignorant people as those who refuse to do their own research, not watch television or listen to what somebody else has told you, but actually go and do some research. So the ignorant people bandwagon on that. Oh, you're stupid. Oh, you're sharing false information. Oh, fake news. Oh, fake news. Because a fact checker said that this information that I shared was not of their likings, right? So I like the fact that the transparency could possibly be there. But I just think about I think about for myself personally, in the last 5 years since COVID started, how much shit I tried to share, and not with ever an intention of changing someone's mind or having someone jump on board, other than just fucking read. Just read, that's it, right? Because whether it's harming you, harming your children, harming society, causing death, illness, and injury, like, fuck, we only know what we know. And I realize that, right? And there's a lot of people who don't know a lot of stuff. I don't know a lot of stuff too. But the shit I do know about, I like to share with people who are willing to research and investigate a little bit, and maybe are on the fence themselves about making some conscious decisions for themselves, their body, their health, their livelihood. To have been berated so much over the last 5 years and been called the names that I have been called over the last 5 years because of simply sharing an article that Facebook or Instagram said is, red flag, red flag, red flag, false, 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 misleading information. It just really makes me think about those people, right? So now all of a sudden, am I okay? Now all of a sudden, am I no longer stupid? Now all of a sudden, am I like, oh, I'm kind of smart now? Oh, she kind of knew what she was talking about. Like, do you apologize in there anywhere? Never. But it's so interesting to see where this is going to go, because it's going to have to correct itself at some point, and it's going to get out of fucking hand before it has to get corrected. But I like the aspect of transparency. And to your point, Denise, I think that we are going to start to see people's real thoughts. But then you also have to add into that side step of, like, keyboard warriors, right? And people only saying shit on social media that they would never say in person, or they would never repeat to an actual person in their real life. We may see some of the fakest of fakes come out, right? We may see some of the most bullshit of bullshittest come out, but I do like it for the aspect of possible transparency. Now, whether that goes anywhere, I don't know. But I think
are they going to control all these bots that's disseminating more fake information?
Say that again?
Are they going to control all of the bots that's making up this fake news and information?
Well, if 64% of United Healthcare medical claims were denied by a fucking robot, why would they not do it to everything else? Why would they not? It's too easy. And what do they say? Robots don't have to sleep. You don't have to pay them, and they don't have to take a break. So they can just keep shooting out misinformation and bullshit all day long under the guise of, free expression, freedom of speech.
He said he's going to change the systems, and they're going to tune the systems. So I wonder if that time where Facebook went black, maybe there was like something they need to do, like maintenance, if you will, to change things around, and that's why that shit went black last year.
I remember that. And this is like anything else, right? We're just getting the tip of the iceberg. Like, all this shit under the surface. We have no clue, but we about to see it roll out. That's what we'll do, is we'll see it roll out right in front of our face.
It kind of reminded me of, you know how Apple would do, when Steve Jobs was alive, they would do this whole thing and he'd be like, this is what the kind of phone we're doing this year, and these are the features for it. They still do it, but it was a bigger thing, I feel like, whenever Steve Jobs was alive. I felt like that was his version of that. Like, this is what to expect from the app this year. We're rolling this out. Like, I mean, really walking you through this and trying to sell you on ideas that's, like you said, clear propaganda, and trying to make you believe that, oh, we're doing this for this reason. So you'll be totally disarmed and not realize what's really happening. It's smart, but it's also really obvious what's happening. If you pay attention, if you just take things at face value, then no. But if you're like paying attention, it's like real obvious what they're doing with this shit.
Or is it, right? Because there's still a large population of people, Denise, who disagree entirely, and it's like, where are you? What are you plugged into that makes
If it was that obvious, then they wouldn't be able to do it. So for a lot of people, it's not obvious. That's the weird part.
Yeah, there's going to be some, there's people right now who are sitting back and, read the news headline today that this is going to be happening with Facebook and social media. And they're just like, oh, okay, it's Tuesday, no big deal. And then there's us who are at 2 hours and 15 minutes.
Right.
And we just getting started, like, I don't know. It's like, I say it oftentimes, right? Question everything. Just watch real close and question everything. And just be careful and be cautious and guard your mind and guard your thoughts and guard your eyes and guard your spirit. Guard what goes in and guard what comes out.
And if people are trying to make a person seem like a really, really bad person, and to the point where you're completely turned off to them and don't want to hear a word they're saying, I want to encourage you to sit through an entire interview. Sit through an entire uncut up, clipped up video of this person talking, because what they want to tell you is that one person is completely wrong and another person is completely right. But the fact of the matter is, you need to get both sides of that story, because you need to know what's really going on, because they're both lying to you. So you need to get both. Don't be so turned off that you can't even take the time to just listen to what the person is going to say, because guaranteed either they're going to tell on themselves, they're going to tell on somebody else, but you're going to get some truth out of it.
Yep.
You know
Let them keep talking until they shoot themselves in the foot.
Just had this thought come through my mind, Denise, listening to you talk. Like, the true test, right, to how far Mark is willing to go with this. Let's take Israel and Palestine as an example. If we're able to have permission to be vocal on social media about what we think is happening to Palestine, and we can say the things that we want to say about those that are doing it to Palestine, and they keep it up, they leave the posts up, they don't put false information, they don't call a red flag, they don't put you in Facebook jail for saying things about a certain group of people, those certain people over there, then I will believe this to be actually true. Freedom of speech, freedom of expression.
But they did, because because the year before last, right? The year before last, remember, because I told you I got on here and told you I had got into an argument with my roommate because I felt like playing Kanye, and then they was trying to tell me I need to turn. I'm not turning off my beautiful twisted dark
Kanye off. You cut
are you kidding me? But anyways, it went from that one year, right? And how he's so anti-Semitic one year, to the very following year, same person saying very anti-Semitic things, because it was socially acceptable to say free Palestine. In no other decade, in no other year had it been acceptable or no one even talked about Palestine from that aspect. All of a sudden last year you could say free Palestine and everybody was down with it, and then Jewish people were all of a sudden bad, and for decades they had been like the media darlings of all media darlings. So if you notice, last year it did shift, and now he's trying to say, oh yeah, we're gonna make changes. Interesting, because that would never happen any other year.
No, and I'll be really curious, because now you're seeing, a year and a half into the genocide of the Palestinian people, the absolute erasure of the Palestinian people. A lot of other people are finally being like, you know what? I think enough is enough. Like, this is not about Hamas. This is not about a couple of hostages anymore. Like, y'all, this is intentional, right? But you still can't say a whole too much lot without being absolutely condemned, criticized, and put on the social media chopping block.
I've seen it the other way. I've seen it the other way. If you support Israel, maybe it's my algorithm, but if you support Israel in this, you are crucified. Like, it's no pun intended, but like,
Right.
you know what I mean? Like,
right.
now on whatever algorithm I think is on, you say something about supporting Israel and you're the worst person on the planet. So
wow.
I guess it really, yeah. Oh no. You can't support Israel. Not in New York anyway. Like, they're like,
right, yeah, y'all in a bigger melting pot.
Maybe what you see in New York space is still different than what we see down here in red Texas space,
Oh yeah.
Y'all
Out
have
here,
a larger
you look crazy.
population of all different races, so it's
yeah. Even though New York has a very huge
right
Jewish population, but even then it's so liberal, and the liberals are more so people with the ideas of that free Palestine and things like that. I mean, it's usually is connected with more liberal people, but when you go to Texas, you'll see Israeli flags, and it's just like, Texas, y'all don't care about nobody. Stop. Y'all don't care about nobody else.
No way you at in Texas.
Stop doing that.
Austin is different from the rest of Texas. So
it was very strange. I saw that. I was like, Texas, y'all don't give a fuck about nobody but Texas. Stop acting like this right now. Well, so it's interesting.
Austin is liberal. Austin is different. Now the rest of Texas don't care.
I saw that in Houston. I seen an Israeli flag in Houston, and I was like, Texas, I've never seen any other flag but the American flag and the Texas flag in Texas in all of my years.
Wow.
It was in Houston. So it clearly shows you how certain ideas and ideologies are always attached to certain parties. And I think they almost do that so that they can recognize who is who. It's almost like an identifier, if you will.
I agree.
They don't really care. They just need to identify who's who.
I agree with that.
It's like, there's this one thing I did during the pandemic, right? I'm gonna make a long story short. We would do this question of the day, and I got an idea for question of the day from a Facebook poster where they were like, where do you what street did you live on in the 3rd grade? What's your grandmother's maiden name? What's da 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 da? And then one of my work friends were like, Denise, are you fishing? Because because those are, you don't realize it, and a lot of people probably were getting their accounts broken into at that time. You don't realize it. You think these are just fun little questions that you're answering. Whenever they're like, share your post and answer all these questions about, like, how many years were you married? How you
that stuff just be looking suspect to me. I'm like, why you want to know why?
That information can be used to break into your accounts.
Your security questions. What's your mother's last name? What's your high school mascot? What was your first car? What was your first dog's name? Like, come on, these are all your private questions. These are your backup questions.
Real suspect.
So I'm saying all that to say, certain social media conversations that are very extreme can be used to identify you and thus send you certain things in your algorithms to then train you to be whoever they want you to be.
That's true. That is very true. That is very true.
We get it all out.
Oh, next
Yeah,
week's
just
crazy.
about.
Think so. I think so.
Next week's crazy. The predictions. Oh no, we're doing the 2024
Yeah, 2024 recap.
I'm gonna try to look for a list of things to put. I'm gonna just kind of casually put in Free Thinkers as I think about it, like stuff that we could talk about for a 2024 recap.
Yeah, and you can do it. Typically, what I do before I use Google or assistants, I just use my own mind, like what stuck out in my head for me over the course of the year, whether it was media, political, personal, like what stood out to me. So I'll go through my own list first, and then I'll go back and see if there's anything I missed. But yeah, that's something I do.
So yeah, so we've got 2024 recap coming up next week, and then the week after that we're doing 2025 predictions, and then the week after that is our in person. So we're trying to decide how we're going to handle our in person, because if you've ever come to our in person, it is outdoors. It is in a closed and enclosed pavilion, but if it's 34 degrees outside, 55 degrees outside. It's pretty chilly, so we're going to work on some possible backup locations in the event that it is too cold on the 28th. That will be our in-person for the month. And then also, hopefully on the 28th, whenever we do our in-person, we'll have our January birthday. January is the Free Thinker birthday. So we started Free Thinkers. Got to be 8 years. 8 years January.
Wow.
Yeah, because everything all aligns with
That's what's up.
a couple different things in my life. But yeah, January is when me, Team and Prince sat down at Buffalo Wild Wings and said, "What the fuck we gonna do, man?" And then boom, comes Free Thinkers. Here we are, 8 years later, still thugging it out every Tuesday, with the exception of a couple Tuesdays we take. But for the most part, we don't have seasons. We're here every week. So come join us for our birthday. Come celebrate with us for the birthday. If you have a suggestion of a place in person that we could meet, on our last Tuesday, if you've got a spot in mind, let us know. We are gonna try to hit up the old coffee shop and see if that might be an option for our last Tuesday.
Be full circle.
Thanks for taking that. Thanks for taking the idea away from me, Nikki. Thanks a lot. Appreciate it.
Well, shit, it ain't like only one person can have an idea.
No, because that was the first thought that popped into my head. Like, let's take it back to the old stomping grounds, the coffee shop.
Yeah, well,
Genuine Joe's, that'll be nice. That'll be nice.
So he was going to sell it as of like November, and then like December ended up having a buyer or something happened to where they're able to continue their lease in that space for a little while, at least for a while. So he was like, "Man, we got to get back in there at least once, while it still is in existence." So hopefully we can get in there for our last one. But if not, if you've got some suggestions of some places that can give us a private space to be able to have our meeting on the last Tuesday, of course, let us know. If it happens to be 55 plus degrees, we're gonna be at the truck. We're gonna be at Brent's spot. But if it's cold, we definitely got to come up with another spot.
Still got to make up.
Yeah, hopefully it don't be like it is on Thursday. 37 degrees the high.
I know.
It's gonna be cold. It's gonna be cold.
Yeah,
I'm gonna be outside. Dang.
Yeah. All right, well, that's it. Anybody got anything else before we get out of here?
So, thanks everybody for joining us. I want to send some condolences to Joe B. He posted earlier today that he lost his sister. So our condolences to Joe B and his family. Happy birthday to anybody that we somehow maybe have missed. We're grateful that we're still here. And those of y'all who are just tuning in for the first time, stoked to have new people come. Maybe 2025 can be our year. So, we need your help to take us to that place. But we appreciate everybody for all of your efforts and love and support that you show to Free Thinkers. We don't get paid doing any of this stuff. We just do it because we love it. We do it because this is who we are. And we need this space, right? And in this conversation with all the stuff that we've talked about tonight, it just makes me really just continue to appreciate the space for what it is, because we do a no holds barred conversation 4 times a month. So whether you agree or you disagree, you're going to always get some information on this platform. And, that's what it's about. So we appreciate you. We appreciate the support, and we need more. So continue to share and invite, excuse me, and join. And hopefully pretty soon we'll have some merch coming out. I know we've talked about this before, but money is funny and this shit don't grow on trees, baby. So, rent is high in the city of 512. So we are hopefully going to crank out some merch, and we'll be able to see some of y'all walking around in your Free Thinkers t-shirts and hoodies here in the next couple of months. Hopefully that's our goal. But that's all I got for tonight. If any of y'all want to close up, go ahead.
And that's a wrap.
Good night.
Nighty night, y'all.